Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for tuning in to ABS Africa Broadcasting Service, coming to you from the great state of Texas, Houston, Texas. It's a pleasure to be back with you tonight. I bring you updates on the results proclamation of Cameroon's October 12th presidential elections. And as you must have seen from the headline we displayed earlier, Cameroon actually burns. Cameroon actually burns in the name of one man and one man only. And that man is called Paul Biya, a man who is the longest serving president in the entire whole world. The longest serving president in the whole world, Paul Biya. This afternoon, the Cameroon so-called Constitutional Council proclaimed Paul Biya winner by 53.66% of the presidential elections that took place October 12th. And as a result of that proclamation, a result that everybody, even before today, knew it was going to be rigged. It turned people out onto the streets, and people are out demonstrating. Others have been shot and killed, and there is looting all over the place. Prison yards broken into and prisoners released, set free. We see institutions in Yaoundé going under fire tonight as we come to you. That is what is happening on the ground. I would like you to, before I come back, take a look at a few images. Take a look at a few images of what is going on. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, on the ground. You are looking there at images emerging from the ground. Cameroon under fire because of one man, Paul Biya. But that is not all. We bring you more. Look at this. Not only people are demonstrating and some property destroyed, put on fire, and roads being blocked everywhere across the country, as you can see from those images. People are being shot and killed, and it doesn't matter whether you are out demonstrating or sitting back at home, you risk a certain death. The face of the lady you find on your screen, an IDP, internally displaced person in Douala. I understand she originates from Wom in the Menchum division in the northern zone. She was right in her house. She was shot dead in her house, not out protesting, not anywhere in the public doing anything, but she happened to be caught by a bullet right in her own house. So that is briefly what is going on out there, ladies and gentlemen. We have many more images to bring to you in the course of this broadcast. This promises to be exciting, educative, and informative also. So please, I'd like you to stay tuned for a minute. I will be right back.
ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once more, thank you for tuning in. As usual, I will bring you an update of what transpired in Cameroon today. Then I will also take you to my monologue and bring you my panel that will be doing some justice, giving opinion and commentary on the events taking place in Cameroon today. And if time permits, I will open the phone lines to hear from you. But for now, I will take you for an update of events that took place on the ground today and what that means. Ladies and gentlemen, to the future, what lies ahead in Cameroon. So this will be an update, not my monologue. I will be bringing you my monologue a little bit later on in the course of this program. But for now, I bring you an update of what is going on, of what took place in Cameroon today. At approximately 11 a.m. on Monday, that is today, the Constitutional Council of Cameroon formally declared President Paul Biya the winner of the October 12 presidential election, awarding him 53.66% of the vote. The announcement came amid widespread unrest, deep distrust of the electoral process, and a volatile post-election atmosphere that many fear is a prelude to worse days ahead. Within hours of the proclamation, opposition leader Issa Chiroma, who declared himself the winner days earlier, spoke in defiant terms. Kill me if you want, but I will liberate this country by any means necessary, he declared, signaling that he and his supporters and alliance intend to continue their fight. Issa Chiroma asserted that in his Garoua neighborhood, the regime had planted 7 snipers with a mission to monitor and, if possible, kill him. But they were discovered timely enough. However, 2 people, he said, were shot dead just after the official proclamation of the elections in Yaoundé this morning. Shooting your own brothers, Issa said at gunpoint, I wonder if you are not mercenaries, he asked in the post. While independent verification of all details remains scarce, the claims align with mounting reports of live fire, arrests, and mass unrest in the country. Across major cities, including Douala, Yaoundé, Garoua, Ngaoundé, Bafoussam, Chang, among others, the reaction among sections of the population has turned from protest into direct confrontation and direct action. Some offices of the Electoral Commission, ELECAMS, or they call it Elections Cameroon, have been set ablaze, party official homes touched, vehicles burned, and prisons forcibly broken, and detainees let go. Local authorities confirm dozens of arrests and at least 4 confirmed dead in the aftermath of the proclamation of the results this morning. In Douala, youths blocked roads, threw stones, and clashed with riot police using tear gas and live ammunition. In the northern region, eyewitnesses reported that inmates, that is prisoners, were released during chaotic prison breaks, signaling a breakdown of order in some places. Accounts of anger are particularly fierce in areas historically aligned with the opposition, where many voters feel disenfranchised. The Catholic Church, through the National Episcopal Conference of Cameroon, commended the calm of voting day, but later warned about serious irregularities that marred the electoral process. The same body urged all actors to respect the truth of the ballots, an indirect rebuke of the post-vote atmosphere. The Constitutional Council, for its part, had just days earlier dismissed all opposition petitions as lacking jurisdiction, reinforcing perceptions of a stacked process. Behind the scenes, cracks are deepening in the ruling elite. Former regime insiders now aligned with the opposition pointed to the unlikely score lines in Anglophone regions and other strongholds of dissent. Mathematical miracle of fraud, wrote one disenchanted CPDM official online, precisely on Reddit. Meanwhile, the campaign of Isa Chiroma had drawn unusually large crowds ahead of the vote in Douala and elsewhere, every part of that country. Evidence, some say, of latent opposition energy. An underreported but increasingly visible phenomenon is the shift of many southern Cameroonians living in Francophone regions today, packing back into the war-torn territories of Ambazonia. The fear of post-election reprisal or of being caught in an escalating security crackdown is reportedly motivating this migration. Analysts warn that a spiral of alienation and flight from the Francophone heartlands may feed the separatist conflict and weaken national cohesion in La République du Cameroon. Although Paul Biya is publicly the figurehead of Cameroon's long-running political system, many voices now argue that the real powers behind the machinery lie elsewhere, not necessarily in Paul Biya himself. They point to senior officials of the ruling Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, the CPDM, ministers, regional governors, party operatives, and state administrators who have functioned for decades as the operators of patronage, election logistics, security deployment, and resort management. Looking ahead, Cameroon faces a precarious path, with the result now declared but legitimacy deeply contested. The risk of escalation is very, very high, very, very high. The authorities may respond with further security crackdowns, arrests, curfews, and communication blackouts, like shutting down the internet entirely. On the opposition side, however, calls for protests, civil disobedience, and even parallel governance structures are emerging. Economically, market disruptions, transport blockages, property destruction, and investor flight are already being reported. The security context, against the backdrop of the Anglophone war in Ambazonia and threats escalating from these election results from Boko Haram in the far north amplifies the danger of wider conflict. At its core, the crisis signals a rupture of the social contract, a population that believed its vote was ignored, an outgoing regime with power deeply entrenched, and an opposition unwilling to yield, unwilling to give up. If one thing appears certain, it is that the status quo cannot simply continue in Cameroon. For many young Cameroonians, this election may mark the point of no return. What lies ahead is not simply another 7 years under the same leadership. It may be a broader confrontation between state and society, between operators and outsiders, between a crumbling system and a restless people. The question now is not only who holds power, it is how the power is held, and whether change will come through ballots, bullets, or both. And that is the update, ladies and gentlemen, of what is going on under the ground today. Before I take you into my monologue talking point for tonight, I'd like to bring in my panel first to give some commentary as per what is happening on the ground. And I'm being joined by members of the Cameroon Peace Initiative, led by Maxime Onga Onaina, who is joining me from Washington, D.C. Maxime, great to have you, sir.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you 5 on 5.
Excellent, excellent. That is sad. The situation in Cameroon is a sad situation. I know it, and everyone knows it. That is not the Cameroon we are working on, creating and building. That is not our country. And it is not going to be left like this. It is not possible. We are not going to leave it the way it is. We are going to advocate for a better Cameroon, a Cameroon that we deserve, a Cameroon that is correctly leaded. No, not this shame that we are seeing. That is great shame. It's not our country.
I hear you. I'm sure you watched the elections proclamation this morning in Yaoundé. What was going on your mind when you watched the Supreme Court declaring Biya'S 53.66% when it is known widely that Biya'S did not, if those results were objective, he would not even come second. What was going on your mind when you saw that?
You know what, Chris, we all expected this to come like this. The system that is in place in Cameroon is a system that is totally wrong. From the way the election counting is being organized to how it is going to be proclaimed at the end. It is already rigged the way it is. You cannot wait for that many days to tell the truth in the counting of the elections. That's not possible. Everywhere in the world, with the new technologies that we know that exist, it is not clear, it is not fair, it is not right to do this the way it is being done. Cameroon deserves better than that in the system, first of all. So, to me, what happened today is not a surprise. It is the deployment of what the entire context, the entire laws in application in Cameroon will allow. But this is not something. It's something to redo clearly to make sure that we have same day good results, that people know that is credible, that this is clear. And this is I will not be wasting my time in talking about the Constitutional Council because it is not doing the right job. It's just reading the results as they are presented to them. Anyway, but again, we have to redo the system. How are we going to redo the system with a government that is not willing to to accept that the system has to be redone? It is the problem. That is the problem. I was not to respond to your answer to your question, Mr. Anyu. It was not a surprise to me and to many that this was read as it was.
Absolutely, very right. I don't think I don't think it was a surprise to many people, myself included. But if I may ask, I know you have lots of connections on the ground and within Issa Chiroma's camp. What are you hearing? What are you being told through feeders in his camp and the general atmosphere? What people are thinking, what they are saying? What have you heard from the ground since the proclamation of the election?
You know that there is a resistance. It's clear that people before that them even they were talking about that the team of Biya has approached the team of Issa Chiroma to offer him a position in the new government,
Right.
and what Chiroma said no, what Chiroma refused to accept. That is the first thing. That is important. He should not accept anything that is coming at this time because there is no guarantee that they will stay and abide by what they are going to suggest or propose to him. First thing. Second thing is, my understanding is that Chiroma wants a peaceful a recognition by the power that be that he won the election straightforward. That is something that is going to be difficult to let Biya admit. The next thing is how is it possible to reach out to him to explain to him that he should take the results that is being read to him very carefully because this is not the right results. People are lying to him. I don't know why the purpose of this, but this is a lie. This is a lie. That is my point of view. And based on your question, I agree with Chiroma. He should not go out and fight. He should continue to resist and to say to refuse, to repute, to refuse the answer, the calculations that were made.
I get your point. I get your point on not going out to fight, but you use the terminology resist. I don't know. How does he resist without fighting?
The method of fighting, I know people were talking about being protected by the Chadian army, which is not true. Anyway, sorry, it is not the time to go out there to use the means that the government wants him to use. They want a pretext. Sorry.
Sorry, it's okay.
Don't give them the pretext. Don't give them the pretext to continue the fight, to keep people as they are doing.
Okay, I know if you want to get some water there, that is okay. Let me see where you are taking care. Let me get to the other guests here who are logged in. If Happy, can you adjust your camera? Sit on the middle of your camera, please, and bend it slightly. All right, bend it slightly, please. Bend your camera slightly, Happy. No, the other way, the other way, the other way. Okay. Wonderful. Just centralize yourself slightly. The same thing with Cheku, please. No, yes, okay. So Happy, well, your name here is Happy. I don't know what that's a true
Yes.
name there. But
This is my
let me
family
get to
name.
you. It's great to have you, ma'am. Hello, Happy? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right,
Hello.
wonderful. Great to have you here. I guess you have been following this election as a member of the Cameroon Peace Initiative. All of you were behind Chiroma, trying to rally support to him for him to make sure that the victory is his own. You too, you were watching the proclamation of the results, I guess, and I'd like to know how you felt watching the victory being given to Paul Biya when it is clear he did not win.
Uh, Paul Biya, it's a president who has been ruling the country for more than 43 years. And during all this year, they have been manufacturing their realities. That is to say that Paul Biya doesn't know Cameroonian. When he, for example, when he has interview with foreign journalists, not with Cameroonian, or he can have one or two journalists Cameroonian devoted to him. So he has his own reality. We are not really surprised with the result we heard. During the poll, they did everything to change the results. And before 2 or 3 days before this, how can I say that to be polite? This movie,
Yeah.
direct movie, it is not Hollywood or non-Hollywood, but we have Cameroonian wood from the Constitutional Court. Before this movie we had from the Constitutional Court, there is uh, a Cameroonian journalist, if we can call him journalist, called Bruno Bidjan, who exactly gave the same figures. So we were sure that we wouldn't have the result come from the poll. So everyone knows the result before.
What?
And yesterday, a spokesperson of the CPDM, that is the party of Mr. Biya, a spokesperson called Charles Eliza, said the force of defense and security have received the order to shoot to the demonstrators. He said that these demonstrators are not demonstrators, they are held as terrorists. So they were prepared to give people false results, and were prepared also to take the measure to traumatize people. So we are not surprised, we are not scared, and we are determined to have the good result reestablished, because nothing is eternal, nothing can last for eternity. He has been for 43 years, and now it is the end of that 43 years. Cameroonians are not going to fight. When you look at people in the street breaking things and so on, because they are fed up, they are starving, they are poor, and everything is mixed. So Mr. Chiroma is like what we call in France a catalyzer, something which gather all the unhappiness of the society. So he's a peaceful man, but despite of himself, he is the catalyzer of all the unsatisfaction of the population, the Cameroonian population.
What are you hearing from people on the ground after the results were read?
What? Excuse me?
What are you hearing from the ground after the results were read? What are people in Cameroon telling you after they learn of the results?
Normally, when you have a winner, which is really appreciated by people, the happiness of people in the country, the celebration in the country reflect the happiness of people, and they reflect the polls. And here we have the reverse. So can I tell you something different that what you have shown before this talk? You show the country burning. You show people very angry in the street. You show people living their unhappiness everywhere. So people were really, really upset to notice that once again their victory 2018, it happened, and the Paul Biya policy in the country was to dividing people on ethnic basis. So the Bamileke, who I am, I belong to the Bamileke people, were said to be like a problem in Cameroonian society after the independence. One of the colonialists said Cameroon has inherited independence with a big problem in his shoes. The big problem was Bamileke. And Paul Biya has ruled the country with this idea that there is a part of Cameroon which is a real big problem. They don't mix with the others, they don't do things like others, and so on. So he divided people, and today, the 5th of August, they eliminated the candidate of one person coming from the west part, saying that they have solved the problem. There wouldn't be problem in the country because those people, they divide people, they don't like Cameroonian and so on. So they put apart his candidacy. That person was the Professor Maurice Kamto. They were sure that they have the boulevard open to have this reality always manufactured as he does. But people noticed that if they didn't go to the pool, they would be stolen again. So they decided to choose among 11 candidates that was on the pool. They decided to choose one of the candidates and get her behind this candidate. And this candidate was Issa Chiroma Bakari. There was a platform of 2 or 3 different coalitions who presented a program called Issa Chiroma Bakari. They presented the manifesto of transition to different candidates. And Issa Chiroma Bakari was the only candidate who accepted to take the country to rule the country for 3 or 5 years, doing the transition program, applying the transition program as the program was showing to him. And all Cameroonians said, even if he was someone who worked with with Paul Biya for 20 years, we should trust him and see if he's sincere to rule the country as he said. People started put him on test, the test, and they saw as the how do you call that?
As the sole candidate.
No. I mean, as the campaign,
Okay.
As the campaign was running, they saw that he was sincere. They saw that he was the person who can help them to change this kind of trick game, this kind of trick game called campaign for the presidency. He was the only person who could be sincere to break things and change things. So they made the campaign a very popular campaign until the end. When they went to the poll, they control that what they have asked is that change. They made the campaign for change, and Cameroonians went to vote for change. And they said that if there's no change, they're going to demonstrate, and that's what they are doing now.
Let me get to Dr. Cheku there. I hope he can hear me. And if you can hear me, please bend your camera slightly. Bend your camera slightly, Dr. Cheku, and stay in the middle of it. It's a pleasure to have you, sir. The camera is a bit blurred there, but let's see we can manage it. Let's see we can manage it that way. I hope you can hear me. Thanks for joining the show.
Thank you. I hope you can hear me too.
I can hear you 5 on 5. So, something that Happy is saying there about all the opposition in Cameroon, I mean not all anyway, they call it the Union for Change. They all coming together and choosing Issa Chiroma to become the unique candidate to rule for 5 years and then do constitutional changes and then conduct fresh elections. We don't know whether that is going to happen now unless he stages a strong resistance to recover the victory that the people gave him. But look at it this way. 1992, the Bulu Ewondo Beti clan denied victory to somebody from the English-speaking regions, that is the southern Cameroons. 2018, they denied victory to Maurice Kamto. They denied victory to Maurice Kamto coming from the Bamileke side, but let's just combine it to the Biya'S and any other tribe from that area. Because Cameroon is essentially divided into 3 parts. You have the Hausas in the north, and then you have the middle that is made up of Yaoundé. No, that is made up of, I mean, let us say Cameroon is essentially divided up into 4 parts. You have the English speaking, if it is still part of Cameroon in any ways. Then you have the Biya'S, Bamilekis, politically they always work together. Then you have the North made up of Hausas. So far, Paul Biya denied leadership to the Anglophones when Frundi won in 1992. Then 2018, he denied it to a Bamileke person who won in the name of Maurice Kamto. And then now, 2025, they have again denied it from someone, in this case, Issa Chiroma, who won from the north. So far, Yaoundé, the Bulus, the Betis, and the Ewondos are essentially saying, we're not giving this power, we're not passing this power to anybody else in this country. In your mind, what are you thinking? Did you think that anybody from any other place other than Yaoundé, the central, the east, the south, the Bulu, Ewondo, Beti clan, will ever surrender that power to anybody if this time Issa Chiroma doesn't repeat what Frundi and Kamto did? What they did was talk about peace, 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 peace. We don't want war, we don't want peace. And they surrendered. Frundi gave up. Kamto gave up. What is it going to take the Union for Change, Issa Chiroma, his coalition, and some of you out there strongly behind him to realize that power in Cameroon would have to be taken from the Bulu Ewondo Beti clan, not through elections, not through the ballot, but through power.
Thank you, Mr. Chris Anyo, for.
Can you bend your camera, please? Can you bend your face is almost curled? Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chris Anyo, for your presentation. I take issues with your presentation and your facts. However, I'm going to try to answer your question. We are in a very difficult time of Cameroon. And it's very sad to see destruction of life and destruction of property because of a process which was supposed to be inclusive. It was supposed to be a time for a nation to come in communion with its leaders, the communion between the leaders and the people. Unfortunately, elections after elections are met with contestation from part of the community. It is very sad to see a beautiful country being fractioned into tribal areas, into regional areas, and into partisan disputes. Let me give you a few facts. Less than 1/6 of Cameroonians were registered to vote. Less than 5 million out of 30 million population. Of the population eligible to vote, that is 20 years and older, which makes up about 17 million of Cameroonians, only 5 million, less than 5 million voted. So less than 17%. Of the 70% of voting ages, the president only won 17% of Cameroonians who were voting age. What does that mean about the electoral process? It means it is very fragmented, divided, not consensual. So the process is structurally difficult for Cameroonians to identify with. I think the biggest problem with this electoral process is that it seems like the government, who is a candidate, is running an electoral process strong-handedly without taking into considerations all other fragments of the society. It becomes very difficult if the same guy is head of state, commander-in-chief of the armed forces, head of the judiciary, first magistrate, first Cameroonian, president candidate, president of the republic, president-elect, creator of ELECAM, creator of the Constitutional Council. It means we are playing on a field that is not leveled. Secondly, the government seems very rigid towards dissent and opposition. It almost feels like a crime for someone to be a presidential candidate. Having said that, I condemn any form of violence. We don't want no violence. We don't want no burning. We don't want no killing. We don't have any destruction. However, when we say we don't want violence, we have to create conditions. We have to create a climate not to foster violence and division. We have to be very careful. Cameroonians should be freely allowed to choose their leaders. Institutions like the National Assembly or ELECAM or Constitutional Council shouldn't be choosing our leaders. The people should choose their leaders. When that power is taken away from the people and given to the executive branch, the people feel disenfranchised. And it's happened to the Southwest and to the Northwest. It's happened to part of people in the North, and it's happened to part of the people in the Western province. I want to correct something about tribalism. We have to be very careful. In the process of nation building, we have to be very careful how we play with tribal identity and tribalism. We have to be very careful how we play with national unity, bringing the Anglophones and the Francophones together, and national integration, bringing all people of different tribes and religion together. Sometimes these issues are confounded and creates frustration. I think I'll stop at this point.
Let me get back to the subject of peace, national unity that you are talking about here. I think Onga Onana brought that point also. Are you thinking that this victory is going to be handed to you if you just sit down, sound like Frundi, sound like Kamto, peace, 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 and the victory will be handed to you? Oh, I don't understand. Explain to me how you fight to take back the victory that the people are out there on the streets dying for, being shut down for. How do you take it back?
I will answer you right away. I first told you that it seems, I'm not 100% sure, that those clamming for peace are also those causing chaos. I just said that earlier. They cause
But isn't
chaos.
it that early for you to begin to talk about chaos? The results were only read today. Isn't it
Listen to
too
me.
early for you to start condemning those who are demonstrating out there
No, that's not what I
demanding
said.
for their votes to be counted?
No, you got me wrong, Chris. You were saying the
Okay.
opposite of what I said. I said those creating chaos are the same people coming after creating the chaos, clamming for peace.
Okay.
So the same government who has been for the last 2 weeks begging everyone for peace is the same government that fostered the disenfranchisement, the fragmentation, and the chaos. That's why I was saying we have to be very careful. Before you get to peace, there is social justice. There is a desire for bread for everyone instead of caviar for a few. There's a desire for potable water for everyone instead of champagne for a few. There is desire for public transportation for everyone instead of big Pajeros and whatever they call it today, Land Cruisers, for a few. They have to move the power center from Yaoundé to the regions, whichever form of federalism you like. Once we move the powers from Yaoundé to the regions, and we have elected governors who are accountable to the people, there will be change. When the power comes directly from Yaoundé, and the governor doesn't feel accountable to his subject, he can call them names. I don't want to quote. He can
If I may
steal them.
ask you, if I may please stop you there, how do you get to where you are prescribing with the regions having elected governors and the administration being accountable to the people? How do you get there? Do you expect this government that rigs elections for 42 years to give you elected governors, elected administrators in their country?
Well, Mr. Chris, I knew that's a very, very good question. Let me start with the 42 years. If somebody couldn't bring change in 42 years, you don't expect him that in the next 7 years there will be change. And we can at least agree on that, that it's all the same. What Cameroon needs are courageous leaders who can rein the executive branch to human proportion. There is an overstrong unitary executive power that has corrupted every element of the society. How long does it take for the prime minister to have an audience with the president? How long does it take a minister to have an audience with the prime minister? How long does it take a director to see his minister? So the corruption, which is too much power in the hands of one man, has permeated throughout the society, all the way down to the constable or police officer standing on that road and having power over you. We need to reform the country so that there are counter powers. The president and the executive power is too much. Let me take a LECAM. The electoral body, which is mandated for elections, they are unable as a body to register even half of Cameroonians. Why? Because they don't want to. Number two, they are unable during an election to put candidates together to have a debate on a stage. Number three, even after the voting, they are unable to let information freely circulate. This information would calm anxieties. Cameroonians think every election is rigged. Why? Because the process is happening in obscurity. So, what we need is number one, decrease the proportion of presidential powers. The executive branch is too strong. Number two, we can elevate
I am
the
dying to know,
judicial.
Dr. Chico, I am dying to know how you get to where you are prescribing. That is my worry. How do you get there? Are you relying on this same regime? Because I think, honestly, you should be telling us or prescribing how Chiroma actualized the victory given him by the people. But this prescription you are making, I don't know who you are addressing them to.
Mr. Chris, anyway, if I had a solution to this problem, number one, there will be no Anglophone crisis. I'm an
Okay.
Anglophone by culture, and I lived it for many years. Number two, they're not going to arbitrarily eliminate candidates that they think could win elections. So the solution is not mine to create. They have political scientists in Cameroon. They have politicians. They have professors in political science.
All
They
right.
have to stand
Hold on
up to
there.
the
Let me
power.
get back to Onga and see if maybe he may have a prescription for the suggestion that, I mean, a roadmap for the suggestion that you are making, because you too, I hear him talking about peace, 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 peace. That is the language of Maurice Kamto and John Frundi. Onga, what is your take on the prescription being given by Dr. Chenko?
I think listen to Dr. Chenko very well. You will see that the road to peace is a clear road. We don't have to use the same means that our opponent, the person in front of us, is using. Because if you start by opposing to him using the same means that he's using, this country is going to turn into some kind of, I mean, to get a brace. That is not what we want. We want to secure Cameroon, right? We
Yeah.
want to have a Cameroon, a united Cameroon that is peaceful, right? So let us work on getting it. Let us continue in talking, in getting people to sit at the table and to discuss the future of that country. That is the way, the only way that we are going to make it. If the guy is not, if the guy and his lieutenants are not willing to do it, just continue to fight, to work, to get them to sit at the table with you. That is what we want to do. Paul Biya and his lieutenants and his Biya'S, people, Famenogo and all the people that are supporting his approach must find the time to sit down with the other actors, important actors, and discuss about what it takes to get peace in Cameroon.
Let me get to Happy. You hold on there. Happy, all of you are prescribing peace here. What is your prescription for the kind of peace that Onga and Dr. Chinko are talking about?
I think that someone who just understands the language of force have to receive the language that he understands. Because as you said before, talking about peace, it is like peace become the blackmail. What we call
Yeah.
in France un chantage à la paix. That's we want peace, we are peace people, and we accept to die in peace. The President Biya is the rock that we build everything around him. He took the country. He has never been elected. The first president of the Cameroon was the president who come from independence. He was called Aijo. Aijo gave the power to Paul Biya. He was not elected. He took this power, he sit on the power, he started manufacturing his reality. It lasts for 36 years. 36 years he ruled the country. 7 years before, I mean, in 2018, when he took the power, in April, the 5th April 2099, he gave his permanent signature to his general secretary. That is to say, he took the power. He was not the person who ruled the power for 6 years. The power was ruled by the Secretary of Cameroon. Am I right or not, my fellow? I'm asking to my fellow on the plateau. Is it right or not? The person who has ruled the country for 6 years was not Mr. Biya. So that's the first thing that we have to be aware. How comes that a man who is 92 years old now, who hasn't ruled the country for 6 years, and who hasn't asked to be a candidate, he has never shown himself for this election. Mr. Biya hasn't shown himself to Cameroonian that he was going to rule for the poor. People wrote the candidacy for him and they introduced it for him. Mr. Biya never came in front of Cameroonians saying that, my fellow, I'm asking to be your president again. He has never done it. If you have the picture or an interview, please, I will be happy to listen to it. And now, how can someone explain to us that someone who hasn't been candidate is the winner of the poll? That is one thing. Another thing is that when you're looking for the statutes and the constitution of the CPDM party, this candidate should be out of race because everything is wrong everything is out of date. So they should have made a new Congress, and the Congress should have been valid, and the Congress of the party choose the candidate. They said we haven't had the Congress for more than 11 years, but he's our natural candidate. Okay, that's their business. But today, every time we have to be in peace, the demonstrators have been held as terrorists. They can be shot because they are not Cameroonian. They are just like animals. And this guy, I was asking to my great brother to send you the video. There was one guy saying that those people has received the order to shoot to the demonstrators because they are held as terrorists. So I'm asking, is the international diplomacy going to wait for Cameroon to be a big bloodshed before they ask to do something? Every diplomat in Cameroon, they knows that things have been tricked. They knows the United Nations. They said that the United Nations was a part of what do you call that? A partner for this to rule this election. Is it true or not? We don't know. But we have an international community. What is the international committee is waiting for to ask Mr. Biya to recognize the victory of Mr. Chiroma, or we restart the count of the votes?
I don't know.
Please.
Mr. Chris Agnew.
Okay, only yes, Olga, go on 50 seconds, then we'll take a brief
yes, I must
break
react
and come
here.
back.
People can claim what they want. The government of Biya can claim having a partnership with the United Nations. This is not a fact. This is a claim that they are doing, they're making. If it is investigated, we'll find out that that is just a claim. And also, international community, they work with the governments. once a government is in place, has been established and recognized, they can start working with the international community. So let us not go there. Let us focus on how to bring peace in Cameroon on our own. How to manage that, how to make it our problem and solve it as it is. Don't mention the international community. They will not come to fix your pet. You
They
have to
don't
fix
even
your pet on your
exist.
own.
It's a name. All right, please, you guys hold on there. Hold on there. I'm going to be back, and when I come back, I will present my talking point of the day. So please stay tuned. Do not touch your remote. I'll be right back.
ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this moment, I bring you my monologue for the day. Elections have taken place, results have been officially proclaimed as anticipated. The question is, what is next? What is next, especially for the opposition? The verdict is in, and the wound is fresh. On October 12, Cameroonians went to the polls, hearts brimming with hope, hands trembling with defiance as they cast ballots for a new dawn. Yet, as the sun set on that day, the rigging machine, that incongruous contraption of fraud, oiled by greed, empowered by impunity, whined to life once more. The results, now proclaimed, are no surprise. Paul Biya, the 92-year-old specter in the Elysee Palace, has been handed yet another victory. A hollow crown placed upon a head that barely registered its weight. The streets of Yaoundé, Douala, Garoua, Maroua, Ngaoundé, and Bafoussam pulse with rage, the air thick with tear gas, and the cries of a people betrayed. He said, Chiroma, the Union for Change, indomitable standard bearer, stands as a true victor, anointed by the will of millions who choose progress over paralysis, renewal over ruin. But the question that haunts Cameroonians now, as the dust of this electoral heat settles, is stark. What is next? How does Chiroma, the rightful winner, and the Union for Change take back their stolen mandate, their stolen victory? That is a question that haunts them. Tonight, I offer a prescription, not a plea, but a battle plan, sharp as a machete through the tangled vines of Cameroon's oppression. And let me begin with a truth Cameroonians must confront head-on. Targeting Paul Biya himself will be a distraction, a mirage that diverts from the real architects of this election fraud. To be clear, of course, Biya cannot be wholly vindicated. His long reign laid the foundation for this machinery. His acquiescence, its cornerstone. But in 2025, he is no longer the mastermind. If this were 1992, when his political guilt still cut like a blade, or 2008, when his decrees carried the weight of a dictator's resolve, or even 2018, when flickers of his old cunning lingered, then, yes, storming the palace with chants against Biya might have struck the root. Back then, he was a hand that turned the gears, the voice that silenced dissent. But today Paul Biya is a ghost in his own regime, a figurehead propped up by those who profit from his shadow. To chase him now is to swing at smoke while the real fire consumes the Cameroonian citizens. Let me take you back, ladies and gentlemen, to a moment that laid bare this truth. A scene from December 2022 at the U.S. Africa Leaders Summit in Washington, D.C. Just picture it. A grand hall, world leaders arrayed in diplomatic splendor, cameras capturing every gesture. Paul Biya, flown across continents like a fragile artifact, sat center stage. But when the spotlight turned to him, what did the world see? They saw a man adrift, eyes clouded with confusion, unable to name the city he was in or recognize the dignitaries around him. As his moment to speak arrived, his microphone, cruelly left open, betrayed him. "Who is in the hall?" he mumbled, voice trembling with disorientation. "Are there important people here?" The words weren't a rhetorical flourish. They were a plea, a lost soul grasping for context in a sea of strangers. His aides scrambled, the audience gasped, and the world glimpsed the truth. Cameroon's leader was no longer leading. He was absent, bewildered, and a passenger in his own presidency. A passenger in his own presidency. That was 3 years ago, ladies and gentlemen, when Paul Biya was mere 89, still clinging to some vestige of awareness. Now in 2025, fast forward through half a decade of relentless decline, his mental faculties, already framed then, have unraveled further, leaving a man who is less a president than a relic, preserved in power like a mummy in a tomb, absent from strategy sessions, confused by the simplest briefings, demented in the quiet moments when power's true decisions are made in Yaoundé, careless of the crisis tearing at Cameroon's seams. This is not the portrait of a mastermind rigging an election. Absolutely not. No, the Paul Biya of today doesn't plot electoral fraud or theft. He doesn't even know the election took place. That's the truth. The opposition cannot convince a single Cameroonian, from the fish markets of Douala to the lecture halls of Chang, ladies and gentlemen, that this frail figure called Paul Biya orchestrated the sophisticated fraud that stole the October 12 presidential elections. The real culprits, they are sharp, they are calculating and very much in their right senses. Minds honed for manipulation, hands steady with the tools of treachery. If Cameroonians must avenge this betrayer to reclaim Issa Chiroma's victory and Cameroon's future, their anger must be surgical, aimed not at the ghost, but at those who wield his scepter. The Union for Change must hit this. The real enemies of your democracy, the true architects of this electoral fraud and travesty, are a cabal of five who thrive in Biya'S shadow. They are Ferdinand Ngongo, the cunning Secretary General at the presidency, whose bureaucratic tentacles choke the nation's pulse. Chantal Biya, the untouchable consort, her influence, a fortress built on wealth and whispers. Paul Atanganji, the territorial administration minister, whose iron grip turns polling stations into battlegrounds. Jack Fong Ndongo and Frank Biya, the heir apparent, whose ambition casts a long shadow over the regime's succession games. These five, ladies and gentlemen, are the beating heart of the rigging machine, the hands that swap ballots, the voices that silence voters, the minds that map this mockery of democracy in Cameroon. Arrest them, go after them. Yes, arrest them now before the ink of this fraud dries on the pages of history. Drag them into the light of justice, before courts, before the people, before the world, and watch the machine collapse. These are not solitary schemers. They are the linchpins of a sprawling syndicate that spans ministries, militias, and media houses. Seize Ngongo and his confessions will unravel the network of administrators who falsified voter rolls and ferried phantom ballots across regions. Confront Chantal Biya with the money trace, offshore accounts bloated with Cameroon's stolen wealth, and she will expose the financiers who bankroll the fraud called elections in La République du Cameroon. Pin Atanganji Paul to the wall with evidence of his electoral thuggery, gendarmes intimidating voters, governors cooking tallies, and the chain of command will crack, naming every complicit divisional officer, press Fame Ndongo on his propaganda empire, the radio waves and newspapers that buried dissent. And you will point to the editors and anchors who sold their souls for the fraud called elections in Cameroon. And Frank Biya challenge his role in this shadow play, and the succession plot will spill open, revealing the loyalists banking on a dynasty to shield their loot in that country. These five, ladies and gentlemen, aren't just accomplices. They are the masterminds, the ones who saw Chiroma's surge in the polls and trembled, not for Biya'S legacy, but for their own ill-gotten empires. For 40 years, they and their collaborators have plundered Cameroon. Oil from the Bakassi Peninsula, timber from Jar Reserve, diamonds from the east, all siphoned into foreign vaults, while schools collapse and hospitals run dry. They rig elections not to preserve Biya'S name, but to protect their own. The mansions in Paris, the fleets of Range Rovers, the bank accounts that mock their empty markets. They fear the change Issa Chiroma represents, a Cameroon where audits claw back billions, where trials strip their impunity, where federalism, as preached by Issa Chiroma, heals the wounds and economic justice lifts the jobless youth from despair. Their terror is palpable. A new dawn means their dusk, a reckoning for every CFA franc stolen by them. To Issa Chiroma's advisors like the one I have on the panel here, and to the warriors of the Union for Change, this is your mission, your mandate. Do not waste breath on Mr. Paul Biya. He is a relic, unaware of the machinations that swirl around him like vultures over a carcass. Chantal Biya knows. She counts the spoils with a jeweler's precision. Ngongo knows. He scripts the fraud with a bureaucrat's zeal. Atanganji knows. He deploys the batons that break the voter's will. Fem Ndongo knows. He weaves the lies that blind the nation. Frank Biya knows. He eyes the throne with a predator's patience. These are the enemies of Cameroon's democracy, the saboteurs of its progress. They are the ones who turn October 12th election into a funeral for the hopes of Cameroonians. March not, ladies and gentlemen, march not on the Elysee Palace, but on their strongholds. Surround their offices with the tide of the people, peaceful, unyielding, armed with evidence and outrage. Demand their arrest, not with violence, but with the weight of truth. Whistleblowers who've seen the ballot boxes stuff, observers who have documented the discrepancies, citizens who have endured the intimidation. The world is watching. Amnesty, the AU, the UN, and their gaze will amplify your cry. Once these five are in custody, the dam breaks. Their collaborators will scatter, their secrets will spill, and the regime's rotten core will implode. From that rubble, Chiromai can build a truth commission to expose the thefts, a constitutional assembly to forge a new future, an economy where markets thrive and youth dream beyond borders. Cameroonians, this is your hour. This is your hour. The rigging ends not by toppling a ghost president, but by dismantling the machine he no longer controls. Let Chiroma lead. Target Ngongo, Shanta, Atanganji, Fem Ndongo, and Frank Biya, they are the chains that bind you. Break them, and freedom will be yours. That was my talking point, ladies and gentlemen. I will now get back to my guest, Onga. Let me start with you, sir. Tell me if I am wrong or if you agree with me that Biya is essentially non-existent. I don't think he understands anything happening around him. He is not the one that Cameroonians should go after. They should go after the Ngongos, the Atanganjis, the Chantals, and the Frank Biya'S, the Fem Ndongos. These are the people's enemies. Tell me why I'm wrong, sir.
No, Chris, you are not wrong at all. That is true. That is true. That you know what? Cameroon Peace Initiative wrote a piece of document some time ago called the package, the retirement package for the president of Cameroon, which listed the things that could be guaranteed that person to let him go slowly and get to his home and retire. But it did not. I mean, we sent this piece of document to Gongo, to the ambassador here, and to the Ayolo, who is the director of cabinet, and so on and so forth. And even it did reach Biya. The point is, it was not reflected in our ballot, and nothing came out of it. And where here we are. What is the French people saying? I heard that they were proposing similar things for him to move, to leave the place. You are right. We have to target those 5 people that you are listing and trying to bring them to reason clearly and to come back if they want, if they can do it, to come to the table. But I think I doubt that they will do that because they know what they have in their pocket, what they have swollen, and they don't want to stop swallowing. Anyway, we have to find a solution to solve this problem.
Absolutely, because I see a lot of looting and destruction there on the ground. Public infrastructure is being destroyed, roads are being burned. I think, people vent their anger sometimes through that means. But can you imagine? Atanganji, Ngongo, Franbia, Shantabia, you get these people, you go after them, and the regime crumbles because they are the machine. Biya knows nothing. The man is good as vegetable. That is what Biya is. So I don't know how you people advising close to Isa Chiroma can advise him. And this is another option that I thought of. Isa Chiroma should take over the north. Ngaundere, the three regions, Ngaundere, Zid Marawa, and Garuwa. Start ruling from there. The people are loyal to him. Biya cannot send a military over there to do anything, and the people will be ready to listen to instructions from Isa Chiroma. Imagine that going on up in the north, and down here in the west, Ambazonians are saying, we don't want Yaoundé. The north is saying, we don't want Yaoundé. They are squeezed in the middle. What do you think about that?
Yeah, but something very important also is, as we discussed with Eric some time ago, it was important that Amazonia get out and say, this is the guy we want to discuss with.
No. Hold on there. I stop you there. It wasn't important. I have had this discussion with Eric Chinje, with Rebecca Enonchong, and I asked Eric Chinje particularly, do you think that all the people, let's just say, of the 100% who went out from Ambazonia to vote, in spite of the campaign not to vote, do you think for a second that they voted for the CPDF? Of course they voted for Issa Chiroma. But did the result mean anything? Just the same thing that the regime did in Douala, in the Bafoussam, in the Ngaoundere. They did. When they vote in Ambazonia. In fact, we should be vindicated for asking our people to stay home because it meant nothing whether they voted or they didn't vote. Oh, are you trying to say that Ambazonia's vote get Paul get a victory?
You can say that, Mr. Anyu. You can say that it is so rigged that even the results that came out of the Ambazonia region were not correct. If there is no way they could have won that much.
No, you are right. You are very right. And let me justify that with this. Do you think that Ambazonia that has faced the brunt of that dictatorial regime, brutal regime for 9 years would go out to vote for the same person? Do you think that even makes sense?
Okay.
So the problem is not Ambazonians voting or not voting. The problem is the machine. Ingongo, Atanganji, Shanta, Frank, Femdongo. These are the enemies of the people and from whom the results, the real results, should be demanded.
How do you go to them?
100%.
How do you go to them?
Oh, how do I go to? Well, you are the technocrats out there. You speak directly to that campaign. I am just here doing the work of a journalist and an activist and putting opinion out there. I hope that some of you buy that opinion. But that is what you guys should be looking at. Chiroma did not. Yes?
We will consider this. You are right. These 5 people are people that are holding the power the way it is. And we must address that in due course.
What do you think about Chiroma taking over the North? With a simple sentence, the North will come under his control.
Have you heard about snipers in the roof of his neighbor?
Yeah.
Yeah. How did the snipers arrive there?
Well, they got there as snipers, not in uniform. Take note of that. If there is no uniform personnel.
It means that around him there are people that are loyalists to the regime in Yaoundé, right?
Yes. Let me show you exactly. This is the guy. The guy you find on your screen. I don't know I've forgotten the name. But this guy was the vice president of Issa Chiroma's party. The guy you see on your screen, he was the vice president of Issa Chiroma's party, and he owns this school in Garoua. Now you can see smoke emerging out of the classrooms. He is the one who allowed the snipers. He is a neighbor to Issa Chiroma. He allowed snipers to mount his roof to spy into Chiroma's compound. So that is exactly what happened. I got this from family sources, Chiroma's family sources. He is the one who betrayed, who wanted to use his house because he's a neighbor to Issa Chiroma to get Issa Chiroma picked up. He essentially had the snipers out there to monitor the movement, whether Issa was going in and out or not. So they could either shoot him or pick him up. So when that did not happen, people started rallying around today after the pronouncement of the election, and they shot to and kill. But however, the population swelled. The population swelled around Issa Chiroma's home, and I guess they found their way away. But 3 of them were caught on camera. There were 7 altogether. 3 were caught on camera. The others were not. But that is a point.
Chris, you know the situation in Senegal or in other places, in Nepal, in Senegal, in Madagascar, it is not over. This what happened today is not over. Cameroon history of election history is not over. We will see what tomorrow will give. And the option like the one you are proposing, dividing Cameroon into pieces, is the one option on the table. And we can see that coming. But anyway, I will not sit down here and preach for something like that. I want a unified Cameroon. We all want a unified Cameroon. Be it federalist, but or not, we want a Cameroon that people feel belonging to.
Don't you think that, well, let me ask this question to, okay, I see Happy raising her hand up. Let me take the question to her. Happy, what do you think about this suggestion of Issa Chiroma taking over the North, ruling from there and squeezing Yaoundé from the middle?
How comes that Cameroon, the Ambazonian, asked for being separated from Cameroon? Is because some children of Cameroon in the English-speaking part of Cameroon were angry. They asked to have the translation of the law, the English law. They asked for the translation of the law into the English language, not only the English language, but
yes,
the English,
into English language.
They were lawyers and teachers.
Yeah.
He started with strike, and those people with force, instead of listening to people, they don't know how to listen to people. They don't use.
The microphone
We
is not
lost your
working.
volume. We lost you.
I fear the microphone is
Okay,
having a
okay,
problem.
sorry.
Okay, I can hear
Now,
you now.
Cameroonians have chosen their president. They're starting the same way, saying that they are blind, they are deaf, they don't understand, and they are going to use force. How comes that someone rule for the candidacy of presidency, and at the end he win? You propose to the person, that is to say, Mr. Issa Chirama Bakari, you propose him to be the prime minister, because he has the proposal to be the prime minister. He refused, saying that he had to be president. So he's not going to be the prime minister of Mr. Biya. He wants to be the president. And now they want to kill him. So it is a sort of partition of Cameroon. They have separated the English part of Cameroon. Now they are separated the north of Cameroon, and they are separated also people from Douala. So Cameroon is going to remain Yaoundé, not even under Yaoundé Etodi. So what you're saying, Mr. Manu, is that the Cameroon is in fact being divided in our eyes. It's not Mr. Chiroma who is going to do that. What Biya has done now, he's separating the Cameroon. What happened? I don't know if my English is very clear.
No,
But
I
what
get you.
happened?
Go on. I understand what you're saying.
The same thing is going to happen now with the north, the west part, and the littoral. Because at the moment we are talking, they put in jail Mr. Sekane, Mr. Jacob Chamini, without any reason. They went to take them in their houses. They put them in jail. Mr. Alexei Ikanes, he's someone from Douala. He's from the littoral. Mr. Jacob Chamini, he's Bamileke. And Mr. Professor Abaoyono is Betty. So they put everyone in Cameroon because they don't agree with them. So the division of Cameroon, it is something that is happening in the fact. It is not the choice that we have made, but the regime of Yaoundé is dividing Cameroon. So we are going to come in that. We are going in that way. It is not a choice, it is a fact.
I think
And
I agree to your logic.
It means that
It
it
is
means that it means that at the end of this process, we could have a divided Cameroon, which is possible
not we could.
if it
We
is the
are
way
go-
if it is.
we are running in dividing Cameroon, and the Cameroon is dividing not by Chiroma, not by the Anglophone, but the regime of Yaoundé has divided Cameroon because they are grabbing to the power and they are killing people for nothing. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but so you do analysis, you build scenarios, and you move from it, you move ahead. There is a scenario that is showing precisely you just mentioned. Imagine that we have an option with Cameroon divided into three parts.
So we are going
What
to
will come
manage it.
next?
We are going to manage Cameroon divided. Because we can't be, it is like a chantage. We can't have someone who is grabbing to the power and we are going to say we are going to keep a united Cameroon. It is like a dream. This is not the reality. The reality is that we have someone in the power who is dividing the country. So if we want the country divided, then we are going to have a divided country. We are going to come in it. We can't just have good ideas saying we are going to have a united Cameroon. We are going to. You don't decrete peace. You
Yeah.
don't decrete peace. Peace is something that happens because you sit on the table, you speak with someone who understands. If you speak with someone who doesn't understand, then you're going to use the way that he doesn't understand. He wants the country to be divided, then we are going to divide the country.
Okay.
Come on.
Let-
So,
let-
Mr.
What is
Aito, you
going
have the
on
answer
in
to
this
your
country?
question.
People just talking about peace. They're just dreaming about peace, and you have someone there who doesn't want peace. They
Yeah.
steal the country. They have had a borrow of 1,960 billions of dollars. I think that was on June or July. Before the election, they make a loan of that amount. What for? They
All
don't
right.
have they don't have any account to give to people. They just rule the country like they want. They do what they want. And we said, oh, sorry, we need peace. Come on, we are not going to strike. Hold on. We just want peace. We need to stop that.
Right.
We
Okay,
really
you
need
hold
to.
on. You
We
hold
want
on
the
there,
country to
Happy. You
grow.
hold on there.
Then we are going to save the
Let's
country.
bring in
The
Dr.
country is going to be
Trico and
broken,
get
then we
his
see what is going to remain.
let's bring in Dr. Trico and get his opinion on this subject of dividing Cameroon. Doctor,
I
let's get your
totally,
thoughts, sir.
I totally disagree with this approach of seeing things. Number one, the number of people engaged in the electoral process is less than 20% of Cameroon. So we have less than 20% of people trying to divide 80%. Number two, in all the composition or the structure of the government, there are people from every region. And one thing you can notice is that people from every regions who are appointed to higher positions, once they defect, they get someone from that very region to undermine them. So the problem is more about the structure of Cameroon, which is structured for a one-party system. Multi-party politics in Cameroon is a farce, is fake. What they really want is a diversified one-party system, out of which the king allocates portions to various areas and candidates. We don't want no partition of Cameroon. Cameroonians have a very strong identity of nationhood. Moreover, I was talking to the Cameroon government recently and telling them I have never seen a Cameroonian who is not patriotic. Cameroonians love their country.
Of course.
They should be allowed to dissent. They should be allowed to criticize the government without them being declared as traitors. It's not because you're a government official that you're more patriotic than the other person. It's not because you're an elected minister that all of a sudden you become more patriotic. What Cameroon needs are structures that can stand up for democracy, not people. So these name callings and calling that this guy is doing is not the problem. The problem is that the structures are not able to counter the executive overreach. There's an overreach of the Cameroonian executive. The unitary presidency is too strong and is putting itself above the law and above the people. So we need to curtail. We need to curtail presidential powers to human proportion, so that by the time we get another president, he doesn't become everything in Cameroon. He decides everything. He nominates everyone, and he's unaccountable to no one. That is my take. I disagree with partition. I disagree with war.
I think the question here, Dr. Chenke, which I kind of agree partly with your opinion there, but the question which I think I am on the right path, I mean, I am on the same path with Happy is, how do you get to these equitable structures? We are talking about how you get there.
I already told you, take away some powers from Yaoundé. Take away some powers.
How?
Move the powers to the regions. Let the people in the regions get elected. we have elected governors. They're going to be accountable to their electors. And if they don't do what the electors want, they'll be put out after 4, 5, or 7 years.
Let me ask you. Hold on there. So you are telling me Biya has just been given the victory of this election, and he comes out and says, "You know what? We will make peace. Next election, we're going to make sure the elections are fair. The playing field is level. And this time, we are going to allow governors, the people to choose their governors. We're going to allow the people to choose their parliamentarians. We're going to allow people to choose to elect their senators, and so on. Tell me, who will be elected? Of course, they will allow the same people to vote for the CPDM. Comrade, you're not getting the point. It has to be a fundamental change that remove these same people who have destroyed the system for 42 years out before you can begin to think of what you are prescribing.
I agree with you. Elekam has to be out. Elekam is not independent. Elekam is a branch. It's a branch of the government. So nothing good can come out of Elekam. So let's agree.
How do you fire Elekam? How do you fire Elekam? How do you fire Elekam? How do you put Elekam out?
Well, let me answer. There have been 3 elections under Elekam, all of them disasters.
Yes.
It's not doing its job.
Who give you the power? Who give you the power to put election out? Who gives you the power to put Elekam out? How do you manage to put Elekam out?
No, we have to reform the whole system from the president.
How do you reform the whole system? That is the question.
How do you come to reform? Do you have the hand to do that? No.
We have to work through negotiations. We have to be on a table.
With who?
Even war. After war, you have to still sit on the table to negotiate. We can spare the war and negotiate.
So that you're talking about war. So we are going to
no. I said no. I said negotiations on the table. Even after war, I said even after a war, you still have to go to the table to negotiate the terms of policies. So
that is to say that today. That is to say that today you have to accept that Mr. Biya has won the election, and you come to the table with him and you start discussing. Is that? No way.
Whatever you think, that's what is going to happen. Everything has to go through negotiation because he controls the army, he controls the police, he controls the judiciary, he controls the legislative, he controls the executive. You have to go through him. It doesn't matter what
you are saying, Dr. Chinko, that Chiroma should not declare himself, should not declare leadership from the north. He should just let Biya go on as usual.
Well, if I were to advise Mr. Chiroma, in the interest of the nation, I will have him sit face to face with Biya and they discuss what is the best path to forth for this country. I will have him sitting with the president on the table, 2 of them with no other person, discuss about the future and what they want of this country.
So what you are trying to explain is Chiroma should meet Paul Biya, they sit on the table like comrades, and for the interest of, and discuss. Chiroma will come out and say, for the interest of peace, for the interest of peace. The narrative that we heard from John Frundi, the narrative we heard from Maurice Kamto, Chiroma will come out and say, for the interest of peace. Maybe Biya will even offer him the presidency of the Senate or the Speaker of the National Assembly. And then you see Chiroma coming out and saying, well, fellow countrymen, for the interest of peace. I love this country so much to want to break it apart. I have sat down with the president, the head of state, and we have agreed for a roadmap for the way forward, and Cameroonians will just clap and say he has spoken. That to me would tantamount to going there and getting his mouth rubbed with oil and
No, there are other
the oil of
alternatives.
surrender.
No,
Excuse
you're
me, it
limiting.
wouldn't
You're
happen.
limiting. You are limiting your options. Let me give you options.
Okay.
It's not
We
going to
can
happen.
decide.
Excuse me.
Let me give you other
It's
options.
not going
We
to
can
happen. It's
decide.
not going to happen.
We can decide that they have another election in a year. They can decide to
No.
recount the votes. They can decide. There are so many options,
The,
but
the
they have to
option
stick.
the option the option today is you recount the vote or Mr. Biya recognize his defeat. It is
I will agree to
impossible.
recount the votes. That is why I said they can
Yes,
sit
we recount
together
the
and
vote.
recount.
Yes,
The
Yes.
problem
recounting
the problem in recounting
recounting the vote means that we put the interest of the nation on the table. Everyone is aware of this interest. You can't say that Mr. Chiroma should take the interest of the nation. Mr. Biya has been ruling a country for 43 years, and he's the first person who should take the interest of the country. Someone
We
can rule a
agree.
country for 43 years and say that everyone should come and lay on his knee, saying that His Majesty, we need to think about the interest of the nation. You're right, and we accept this and this. There was a pool. If it was a real pool, who won the pool? Who won the pool? Not Biya. And what happened? We recount the votes with a committee independent, not Elecam, not Elecam, and we restart everything. If the real result of the pool is that Mr. Chiroma has won the election, he's the president. And there is no way that we're going to say that we are going to take into the account the interest of the country. The interest of this country is that the change that people have asked is put in place. That means that Mr. Biya goes, he leaves the power. There's no other option. So, excuse me, but forget about thinking that Mr. Chioma is going to accept an option of having a chair of Senate or whatsoever. The only option is that Mr. Biya leave the country, he respect the vote of Cameroonian, or we recount the votes.
But you're forgetting that recounting the vote is almost impossible because what you have today is already a weak possible, which
But
was the only
then the
available
possible
possible,
it's not
the
full.
only available possible that is at the disposition of the electoral commission and the council are already rigged. Even if you were taking a third party to come and look at it, the document that they will see is the document that has been traffic coded on.
Dr. Onga, I thought she said counting the vote. She didn't say tabulation of the result. She said counting the votes. So they're going to look at the balance. That's what she said.
At the beginning,
Dr. Onga, I think you are
beginning.
frozen. I'm always seeing an image of you. I don't see your video. I think you are frozen.
At the beginning, the president of the court should not take part of this presidential organization because before the election there was a trial on him. He took part of a meeting that was that was asking Mr. Biya to be candidate. So you can be the president of the court who is going to tell the name of the president and being someone who is celebrating Biya as the future president before the election. So there was a trial on him, and the law say that because he's on the trial, he should be disqualified to be the president of this court. But that wasn't taken into account during the counting of the vote, the poll after the election. There were a lot of incidents which have been raised up by the FSNC, and there was video on that. There was video of people putting wrong PV on the signing the PV, people from Elekan signing and so on. There was a complaint. They haven't taken that complaint into account. So how come that you're going to come to tell about the country interest with people who doesn't care about nothing? They don't care about the law. Those people
Absolutely.
don't even imagine that law is a basis of something. So there is no way to discuss with them.
So,
I'm sorry to be upset. I'm
Onga,
sorry to be upset and so nervous by talking. But for 3 years of trick of blackmail, I think it's enough. It's enough. And treating people like babies. We are going
on,
to knee in those people and say, in the name of the country, oh my God.
Onga, if I may come to you, please, you need to check your camera there. It is frozen. I don't know whether you can hear me.
I can hear
But
you. I can hear you, but I don't think there is a way for me to fix this camera issue.
okay,
Anyway,
what you need to do is log out and log back in. Log out, log back in using the same information. Let me ask. Dr. Chiriko, when you see Issa Chiroma saying, even if I'm going to fight for, he says, by any means necessary. Now I'm quoting him, by any means necessary, I will liberate this country. What do you think he is saying, Dr. Chiriko? What is in his mind there?
Let me start from
Adjust
where
your
I
camera,
started.
please. Adjust your camera.
Let me start from where I started again. All right.
Yes.
The electoral process is not on a fair plane. Everything is tilted towards the party in power, be it registration for voters, be it the electoral council, ELECAM, be it ELECAM, be it electoral council, be it providing voting cards to people who are in the opposition. So it's only fair for Chiroma to make sure the votes are counted and they're counted properly. The system is fraught with areas where fraud can happen. You vote and 15 days later, they give you a result. There's a lot of time to do shenanigans. So I'm not going to fault Chiroma for wanting to make sure he defends the votes of his constituency. Where I would disagree is when people start saying they want to kill, they want to partition the country. I think a country is too big for anyone, be it the president, be it an opposition leader, be it the country is too big to be burned or destroyed because of one individual. What I think we could do is to use level heads, have people sit and plan a future which is different from the last 42 years. They have given too much power to the executive. Let me take Elekam. I didn't say Elekam this election. I saw Takanji. He overrode everything. How can he run the electoral process when he's a partisan? How do you think people will trust that process? So the system is not good. It doesn't matter who they make president in this system, he will become a dictator. So the system has to change. At one time, Elekam was even discouraging people from getting registered. Do you know how many Cameroonians voted in the embassy in Washington? 71.
Yes. 92.
How many?
92.
Okay, 72. How many people are in the embassy? Plus their spouse, plus their children. There's a problem. There's a problem when less than 15% of Cameroonians were registered to vote. There's
Why?
a problem.
Why?
Because the system is bent on keeping the incumbent. So the reform has to be total, from the National Assembly to the Senate to the military to electoral. All of that has to be reformed to reflect a democratic republic. This present
That
system is meant for one party system. They are trying to
that's
adjust
okay.
the structure of a one party system to a democratic process. That is why people don't even know the difference between freely voting, expressing their view, and belonging to the party. You can be a civil servant working in the Ministry of Finance and they send you to campaign, and assuming that you are part of the CBDM, which is not necessarily true.
My
So
fear
the
is,
one party system is what is running today. They want to diversify the one party system, but the Cameroon government has no desire for a true multi party system. That is a fact.
no, you are
I
right,
don't have
of
any,
course. You
I
are
don't have
100% right.
I
My
don't have any
fear,
complaint.
Happy, hold on, please. Hold on, Happy. My fear is that you think that the same regime that you are criticizing can do what you are prescribing, whereas we know they cannot.
Mr. Crisanyo, they have all the levies of power. If you see Mike Tyson walking down the road and you decide to go fight him, that's not courage, that is suicide. But you can find another means of not fighting him directly. The system has everything in control: prefects, governors, police, gendarmes, military, tanks. My brother, let's spare a bloodbath. Let's spare lives. We might not have the most accurate system, but engaging in a fight of partition of Cameroon, my friend, might be very bloody. Don't forget, how many tribes are there in Cameroon? If we start pushing one tribe against the other, my brother, I am very scared.
I really don't understand you, though. Happy was saying that whether you like it or not, Biya has already partitioned the country, divided the country. Consider again that in 1992, they stopped Frundi, an Anglophone, as they call it, from becoming president. In 2018, they stopped Abableki from becoming president. In this time, they stopped Hausa from becoming a president. Keeping everything in Yaoundé, it is already a partition. Why are you not saying that the partition has taken place already?
I disagree and I dispute that presentation. I
Okay.
strongly dispute it, because you have Hausa people in high levels of government.
What
You
does that
have
mean if they don't represent anybody?
even the Secretary General of the CPDM is a Bamileke person. So it is hard for you to put everything into a box. It is very difficult. Let me
Excuse
tell
me.
you something. Let me tell you something.
Excuse me. That's your
Let me tell you something. Aside of political parties, Bamilekes have power in Cameroon. They have economic power. And you are not sure that they want to put at risk their businesses, their homes, and things they've built in the last 50 years
Now you're making
because
the point. Now you're making the point that everybody has said. You make the point. You finally hit the note there. Public kids don't want to risk their business, right?
they don't want to lose lives and business. Of course,
Okay.
I don't want to lose a single life. I don't want to lose a single business. There's no way for me putting it.
If you're demonstrating and you're being killed, it's your fault because you didn't have anything to do out. That's what you're telling us. You are
Please
demonstrating, they
speak for
shoot
yourself.
you,
No,
and they
please
say,
speak
"Oh, what on earth
speak for
have you
yourself.
done
Don't
out?"
speak for me.
You know that if you demonstrate, you're going to be shot. So they shoot you. You shouldn't have been out. That's exactly what you're telling us. I'm sorry, sir. That's exactly what you're telling us.
No,
Come
no,
on.
speak for yourself. I
What
can
have
speak
you
for
done?
myself. Speak for yourself. I can speak for myself.
What
All
what
right.
what you have just tell us is that they have the army, they have this, they have this, they have this. So we have to shut up And we are people who dividing the country. The country is coming into division because you have people on the power who doesn't listen to people, and people are upset, and they are dividing the country. The country is being divided not because people doesn't understand, but because people who has a hand on the power refuse to listen to people. It started with Anglophone. Now it is going with Anglophone, Bamileke, Hausa, and people of Douala. That's what we are saying. We haven't said that we wanted to divide the country, but if it's the price to recollect the country after, then it's going to happen. If we fear the country to be divided because someone is making the blackmail, then we are going to be in that situation for 100 years, and we refuse it.
All right, let's get to Onga there. I didn't know he was locked in with a different passcode. But we're in here, Onga. I'm sure you have been listening to both Happy and Dr. Chinku on this subject.
Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
Yes.
Now, my point is simple. What are we doing from here now?
Good. That's
What
the point
is the
I'm
next
asking.
step? What is the next step that we are proposing to Mr. Chiroma Bakari,
Yes.
who is the winner of the elections? And today the Constitutional Court gave it to someone else. What are we doing? What are we recommending to him from now on? That is the question, my understanding. And I think
So
the next step is to envisage eventually, if it has to be, partition the country if it has to be. And then we'll oblige people to sit down together to discuss now that they are on the knees, all of them. Because that is a way to bring people to discussion, right? So let's imagine that the guy stays by his position and people follow him by his position. I know that Douala, Yaoundé, and so on, Bafsan Bangante, and so on, are all included in this game. But imagine 1 minute that he stayed by his position and he said, "I'm not leaving Garoua unless it is for a reason that is clear, even if we have to move it, the capital city later on, to Bebda or Yoko, whatever. He has to stay. What is next is the possibility for him to say, I'm not moving from Garoua. I'm not coming to sit with Biya. Biya is not a trustworthy individual. I don't want to talk to him." What will happen?
All right. Happy, you want to say something quickly?
Yes, Mr. Chiroma is a very wise man. He's a very peaceful man, but he's someone who has commit himself to people to bring this country into change, and he will never, I insist on the word, he will never betray people and his commitment. So please, no one has to expect from Mr. Chiroma, who is the winner. You just recognize that he's the winner of the election. Someone can win the election after 43 years of suffering from a government, and you come and ask the person to be constructive and understand that he has to resign and give the change. That is to say, he will give, he will serve people to what they have refused. So Mr. Chiroma is not going to betray. If the country has to be divided, he's going to be sorry for that, but it will be, he's going to just accept the fact, because those people who are divided the country are those people who are killing the demonstrators, are those people who refuse to understand to the Anglophone yesterday, and today they refuse to understand to the rest of the country. So if the country has to be divided, then let us act for that, and after that, if we have the interest together, then we have to sit down and everyone will understand that we have to defend a united interest.
All right, all right. I think the country is already divided. If it is divided, we cannot hold Chiroma responsible for it. We hold those who divided it for over 42 years. It is not Chiroma. Chiroma will just be doing what the people mandated him to do. Please, ladies and gentlemen, just stay put in there. We're going to open the phone lines to take a few questions for 10 minutes. Then I will come back to you and we'll call it a night. The phone line is open. You can go ahead and call if you have a contribution. But remember, before you call, turn down the volume of your TV set. Focus on your phone. Focus on your phone when you call. If you call with the volume of your TV set, with me hearing the volume of your set in the background, I won't pick your call because you won't hear me. You would be hearing the TV, which has a delay. So please, when you call and focus on your phone and not the TV set. All right. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Canada.
From where?
From Canada.
From Canada. All right. What is on your mind, sir?
Yes, thank you, Chris, for everything that you've done to gather the panelists to be there. I respected everybody there. The most important thing, what I've observed for what they are saying, the only person who is making some sense in this situation is the lady. I don't know her name. She's trying to put things together to see that we see the right way forward. But regarding the other guy, the guy who says it's doctor, the black guy.
Yes.
I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what he's trying to do. I don't know what he's trying to bring now is not what we need now. He's selling after the market. He is not doing anything. He's just trying to bring us back. What is on the ground? We need to fight this now. They need to fight this now. But whatever he is saying, these are the point that he was supposed to bring there. If Chiroma was appointed to be or was elected to be the president of this country, of Cameroon. But what he's saying now, it doesn't have anything at all.
All right.
So if they don't want to fight, then they should back off.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. The calls are flying in here, ladies and gentlemen. Hello.
Yeah, Comrade Chris, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. This must be Summer Thomas.
Summer Thomas, yes, this is Summer Thomas.
What is on your mind, sir? Calling from Belgium, right?
There is one person in the panel that is a thorn in the flesh of all our Republican citizens today. But the question that has been bothering me, which you've asked that fellow over and over, and he's unable to give you a response to that question. And I wonder if that fellow was a member of the Union for Change. If at all he was, then the Union for Change must have made a terrible mistake, for he was an enabler pretending to be a party to that Union for Change. Let me go to my question again. He is talking about sitting on the table, discussing with the Republic, or discussing with Mr. Biya, and not to divide the country. The question you've been persistently asking is how is that going to be done? For Paul Biya will never call for such a meeting to sit and talk anything meaningful. So how will that action be carried out? So
All
the
right.
only solution, so far as I'm concerned, is war. So let him be able to explain himself to the people of the Republic how that action will be carried out. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. We will get back to that question, but let's get to the phones first. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Comrade Chris.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Texas.
Texas. All right. 50 seconds.
Okay, so my thing is, why don't we address the issue as it is going on? If you look at the capture that you said in Paul Biya's name, Cameroon burns. This is not about Paul Biya. This is not about any of the candidates. This is about Paris. Your capture should have said in Paris's name, Cameroon burns. Because this election is not about any of the candidates. Paul Biya did not win this election. Issa Chiroma did not win. None of the candidates won. The person who is the real victor in this thing is Paris. The Cameroonian people lost. So let's talk about, let's face the bull by the horn.
But what will you do to Paris?
Okay, but that's look. Okay, this is like the proverbial saying that a child loses his toy in a dark place, but he goes looking for it under the light just because there is light underneath there.
What would you have Cameroonians do to Paris?
That talking about phobia does not solve this problem.
Answer my question. How would
let me answer your question. What did the Sahel do? What did the Sahel do?
Answer.
So the thing is,
Answer. What did the Sahel do?
I mean, we should stop blaming. Look at what people are doing. They are blaming Anglophones. They are blaming Anglophones for what just happened. You understand? Instead of looking in the right direction, and here even there's a lady over there pointing her fingers towards Anglophones, pointing towards other regions of the country.
All right. Thanks for the call. We got so many calls coming in. All right. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Where are you calling from, sir?
Good evening, sir. I'm calling from UAE, Dubai.
From Dubai, okay.
Question.
What is on your mind?
Yeah. For me, what is on my mind? I've been listening. I've been following you from day one of everything you're doing, all the news, the broadcast new one coming in. I've been there following. For me, what I think, in my opinion, is that they should transfer powers, like the presidency to Marwa.
They should transfer the presidency to Marwa, okay?
To Marwa. That's the first thing. Before they want to do that, they should look for a means if they could capture those people from their various homes. Their various homes, like the Constitutional Council, all of them, those who are in power, the 4 or 5 people you mentioned, they will capture them first.
All right.
That's another opinion that I have.
All right, thank you.
And again,
thank you for the call, sir. Thank you. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Where are you calling from, sir?
I'm calling from Cameroon, sir.
Precisely what city or town, sir?
I'm calling from Boya.
Boya. Okay. What is on your mind?
Sir, I believe the lady has said it all, because what the other black guy was saying doesn't make any sense at all. It's as if he has been brainwashed or something like that, or he has something that he thinks behind everything.
Okay.
Yes, because I don't understand what he's saying by Chiroma sitting down with President Paul. That's something that would have done a long time ago, not now, because right now we want a whole. In fact, the main point here is changing Mr. Biya. So going back and forth, talking left and right doesn't change any situation. Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
I'm
Thank
from
you.
Cameroon, sir.
Thank you. All right. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Where are you calling from?
Hello. Yeah, good evening. I'm calling from La Republic.
La Republic. Okay. And what is on your mind, sir?
Yeah, I really want to appreciate the lady on the show there.
I think they were. It seemed like the lady won the day.
Yes, and that our brother called doctor. I was very, very angry with what he's saying. This is the problem with Cameroonians. They don't know that there are responsibility that are meant for men, and there are responsibility for God. And that is why God is not doing anything for 43 years that we have been fighting, and God is not doing anything. Now, this is the problem. La Republic has a language that is hearing. There is no way they can permit you to sit with them. They have already put tribalism, because when you are going in to vote, they said that this person is from this place. They are using that means to cripple the Cameroonians. Now we have come to the endpoint. We are on ground zero. We know what is happening here. I just sent video into your phone. That is what was taking place this evening. We don't want to hear anybody. Even tomorrow, we are going to be on the street. If it takes the whole year like it has been taking for Anglophone problems, we will keep on doing that.
All
because
right.
this government will never hear anybody, will never put anybody on the chair. All what our brother is saying there are the stupid things. They doesn't work. They don't hear that. People keep on saying the things. They will not put anything on the table. They will not call anybody on the table. They will not discuss anything. So what we need from them is guns. We always say this. Where they are, where you people are, those people fought to be where they are today, and people died. There is nothing like that. Whether you go out, the one that died today, it was in the house that they gone, pick the woman. He did not go to the street. So if they say that they don't want people to die, even the children of Israel that were brought out from Egypt, people died there. Moses has to kill the people until the king Pharaoh. The people were not liberated.
All right, all right. I get your point, sir. Thank you for calling. I get your point. We have so many callers, please. Thank you. Hello.
Brother Chris, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Where are you calling from?
Well, I'm from Maryland, but I'm right now in Columbus, Ohio, and I want to appreciate the panel. It is a panel of ideas, but we have lost time for ideas. There's no room for ideas. There are so many ideas now in Cameroon, even more than the potholes on the roads. I think only the lady has come close to what should be done right now. Chiruma was not stupid to be on Anglophone channels during the campaign. He knew the outcome. He knew that today was going to happen. He knew that this was going to be the outcome. Is going to be 2018, 2011, 1992, and all that. We don't have time for ideas. There are so many ideas in Africa. It is time for the gun to start screaming in the street.
So I guess you agree with the idea of Chiroma ruling from the north.
I agree with the idea of Chiroma ruling from anywhere, but now it is time for him to form what we call war coalition. Let Chiroma come with his soldiers from the north, we will come from the northwest and southwest, and we form a coalition. And both of us are thinking like this now. You can sit there in your cameras and begin to think that you are giving us ideas. We don't need ideas anymore.
Okay.
It is time for all of us to walk around like Traore, dressed in military uniforms, and fight
All
for
right.
our country.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. I feel your passion. Thank you, sir. Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Washington, D.C.
Okay, 50 seconds, sir. The phones are ringing like, go on.
Yeah, so with this impasse that we are in Cameroon, I think there are a number of things that inside Chiroma should do right away. The first thing is to set up a parallel cabinet, called the shadow cabinet, and especially the first, the 6 top positions like the Prime Minister, the Minister of Defense, Communication, Foreign Affairs, Territorial Administration, and Justice, and set up that headquarters in Garo. And now his Minister of Defense to be given the authority now to recruit and train. That way, he needs to get his residence secured at the presidency for now, and start from there. Because with that, if he secures his presidency right there, I thought that the sniper will have no chance of getting him. He has the leverage to be able to operate from there and cooperate with not just the people within the country, but people also without the country.
All right.
And that way, the solidarity of the Muslim people can bring him and help with other soldiers in Cameroon loyal to change.
All right,
so
thank you.
That would be my contribution to that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. Hello.
All right.
Hello. Hello. If you call, you have to stay by your phone. Hello. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello, sir. Where are you calling from?
Yes,
I can barely hear you, sir. Raise your voice. All right. Hello.
Hello. Good evening, Mr. Chris.
Good evening, sir. Can you raise your voice a bit? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from La Republic. It's
What
my
town or
first time
city?
calling. You're getting me?
Yes, what town or city?
From La Republic. No, that's the Lions Den itself.
What town or
Yaoundé.
city?
I say Yaoundé.
Yaoundé. Okay, go on. What is on your mind? 50 seconds.
Yeah, no, I just want to appreciate that lady with you. The lady is very brilliant, and the other man in suit, I don't know what he's up to, because it seems as though he has had some soya, he has eaten some soya, so because you cannot keep on turning around, saying that they have to sit on the table and you are not giving solutions. There's somebody sitting around with who is supposed to call a round table conference. It's the other person who has taken it from another person, not the other way around. So I don't know what he's saying. And when that lady even wanted to question him, he said the lady should speak for herself. If you were coming there to speak to herself, why was the lady coming? Because we came here to exchange ideas. And if we had to speak to herself, then that man would have remained in his house. I don't know what he said.
All right, thank you.
The lady is very, very, very current, and in fact, I like her ideas. So
all right, she's hearing you. Thank you. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Good evening, Mr. Chris.
Good evening, sir. 50 seconds. Where are you calling from?
From Ground Zero.
All right. What is your contribution?
First, I want to thank you for what you are doing, and I want you to also. I took some points for all the francophones were on set.
Yes, sir. I'm hearing you.
Yes. So the lady is the one who can defend that country as compared to the men. So secondly, they should know that any country that has to fight for its freedom, justice, and peace should be like the European continent. They had the worst dictators, and today they have democracy. Many nations, people from different countries, Africa, living for Europe, losing lives in the sea to go there because those people fought for their country. They shed blood. So those francophones who eat bread and sardine and don't want to stand up for their people, they are a disappointment. Thanks to God that lady has been standing up for that particular community. So let women rise in French Cameroon and take over the country. They should go on the street. All the women, allowing the men, when they take power, they should rule the country. Let the men be made to work under the ladies.
All right.
They are shame and disgrace to their community. They could not talk like that. They are not men. They are not representing that nation. And those who are talking about English Cameroon, the Southern Cameroonians joining Francophones to fight, they should stop saying that. That is really an abuse to the dignity of the Southern Cameroonian people. We cannot be fighting all our lives for Francophones. They have never appreciated us for anything that we have done. So they should stop linking us to Francophones. We are fighting for our freedom, and we shall have our freedom. Let them learn from us to fight for their own. If they want to seek advice that will help them to tell them what they can do to get their own, you have already told them. They should get rid of those 5 names you mentioned to attack.
All right.
And
Thank you.
should take the northern provinces, the 3 northern provinces, and put a capital there and rule. If Bamblikis and Bassas don't want to stand up and join them to fight, let them be there and become slaves to the Betis. I think that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Where are you calling from, sir?
I'm calling from Texas.
All right. Quickly, 50 seconds. What is on your mind, sir?
Yeah, my contribution is simple. before people keep talking about whether Anglophone or Francophone issue, it is a certain issue that we are fighting for the freedom of the people. So the people is a paramount. It's not whether it's a Francophone or an Anglophone thing at this point that is a paramount. We need to use a single ladder to get there, then we can talk about Anglophone or Francophone.
No, I think you get that in the reverse, sir. If we should get there before we talk about Francophone and Francophone, where have Francophones been that Anglophones have been there and fighting and spilling blood?
I'm calling from Texas.
No, I get you. You talked about let's fight and get there and talk Francophone.
I'm just putting this point very clear that when we talk about fighting, we are fighting for the freedom of the people. It's not just an issue of Anglophone or Francophone at this point in time. Yeah, there has been an Anglophone issue, but here we're talking about the freedom of the people. With the freedom of the people, what we have at hand now.
Which people? Which people? Which people?
The Cameroon population.
Where the people you call Anglophones will tell you that they have been fighting for 9 years.
I'm coming. I know that 9 years. I know. I acknowledge that fact 100% because I'm an Anglophone. I don't refuse that fact. There's a lot of regret behind that 9 years. But if we want to look only on that regret, we still have some channels to lose, which I know we have this as an opportunity to team up to look for a single solution. That is what we should cry here. I'm not canceling the fact of the Anglophone crisis. Neither I'm not looking at it as a Francophone thing. I'm looking at it as the people's thing.
All right. Thank you for the call, sir.
We are looking at it as the people's thing. Choruma stands a solution at this point, all of us were talking of. The point here is, same as the Anglophone crisis was minimized, which has lasted for 9 years today, should be the same movement until we get to a solution. There's no give up.
All right.
So it's not a point that they should think there's going to be a strike today. Maybe after 1 week they'll get tired, they'll get hungry. There's no hunger on this point. There's no give up till the solution stands.
All right.
Look at critically, the country is now like 7 against 3 to make the 10 regions.
All right. Thank you for the call. Thank you for the call. Your point is taken. Thank you for the call.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hello. 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 My phone is jammed. I mean jammed to the extent I can't pick any call here, ladies and gentlemen. These calls are all jamming, every single one. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Christ. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
Yes, I'm calling from Cameroon, in the Kribi city.
Okay.
Are you getting me?
Yes, I can hear you. What is your contribution, sir?
Oh yeah. First of all, I'm very happy. I'm very happy to get you, and I'm very proud with this your program. Okay, this is my contribution.
Okay.
Okay. I think, for my knowledge, since France does not like to do something about Cameroon citizens, I think we Cameroonians, we will have to call Russian President Mr. Putin to rush for our help. Or we need to call Mr. Donald Trump to do something, because people are dying. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Yeah. People are dying.
So do you
Any one of that two presidents?
You know that Russia has a relation with an agreement with Paul Biya, right?
Pardon, sir?
You know that Russia has an agreement with Paul Biya, right?
Yes, but in this critical moment, I think they have to do something because people are dying. You can imagine.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Sorry for my English is very poor.
That is good. At least we heard you. All right. This will be my last caller for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. The calls are just so many. Hello, sir. Where are you calling from?
Hello, Congress Chris.
Yes, sir. Where are you calling from?
Hello, Congress Chris.
That is good. At least we heard you.
Again, I said before you call, shut down the volume of your TV. Hello. Before you call me, shut down the volume of your TV and focus on your phone. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, where are you calling from?
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Where are you calling from?
Yes, I'm calling from Gazero.
Yes, what is your contribution?
Yes, I've been following your programs, but like what you said concerning Eric Chinje and the other panelists, they have been really talking about you allowing the Anglophones to participate in the elections. We have just seen, let's say, we from Ground Zero. Hello?
Yeah, go on, I'm hearing you.
Yes, we from Ground Zero, especially from around Baminda, we took the challenge to participate to vote and to vote maybe for Chiroma. And you saw the outcomes. At least Chiroma, he had, maybe even the percentage is so small. We saw what the outcome.
Yeah.
And then now the elections, after the presidential elections, there's the parliamentary elections and the council elections that will be coming up. Why not allow also the Anglophone to participate in these elections so that they will take their councils and maybe their parliamentarians and
you did not even win. You did not even win presidential elections. You went out. You voted for Chiroma. Why do you think you will this time you will win your councils?
No, just the percentage would have given to Chiroma. You saw what we did because despite the
let me ask you. Hold on. I'm in control here. Hold on. Can you hold on? Okay, you cannot call and talk over me, okay? You went out, you voted for Isa Chiroma. The results were rigged. And now you are saying, let's have another chance and vote for the councils. Under which administration? Under which party? The same CPDM? I don't know why some people just don't reason right. All right. I'm going to suspend the calls here, get back to my guests so that they can take a leave for the day. But I will come back because the calls are just incredible. I will come back, take a little bit more calls after my guests are gone before I call it the night. So please hold on with your calls. I will be back. I see somebody just join us here. That is it Car or Car? Oh no, it's not a new guest. But let me go back to Onga. You hear the callers, you can feel the passion from the callers. They believe that Happy out there outsmarted both you and Dr. Trinko. They think she is right in almost all she says, but you are getting it all wrong because you keep talking about peace. You just think that you are just speaking like Frundi and Kamto. That's what the people think. They don't see you like a fighter.
Now, at the end of the game here, we have to be honest with each other. We have to look at history, and we have to look at the playbook of the person that we have in front of us. The different actors that are there. What are they doing? What do we know that they might be doing? That is how we should do the analysis and going forward. What is going to come probably is that Mr. Chiroma and his team will sit down and settle where they are and not move from where they are because they have a sort of protection uh, 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 team with them. So they will stay where they are and they will manage the rest of the country from where they are. The same thing will happen with Biya and his team. On the other side, Amazonia, southern Cameroon, the former southern Cameroon, might be continuing to do the thing that they are doing where they are and manage it as they are. So we will have most likely three separated countries where you have a leadership on each of the countries that is dealing with what they do every day as of now. And at some point, they will have to find a solution to sit together, the three of them, the three leadership that have been formed, and discuss the way forward together. How are we going to have that happening? That is the next challenge that we have to do. Is when in the next 2 weeks, negotiation will be happening here and there, and be with the international forces or whatever. Anyway, the likely scenario is that we have three Cameroons and three leadership growing from the conflict today. And then seeing and discussing what is the next step. That is what Mr. Chenko is right, saying that we have to envisage peace. It can take some time to build, but it will come. We'll work on it. We'll work on it. We'll see how to come back to a space that we can converse together. Yes.
All
we have
right,
to
let me
think
get
about the
to.
future.
All right, let me get to Dr. Chinko there. Dr. Chinko, this course having an indictment of you.
Thank you so much for coming back to me. And let me start by saying I respect very much the presentation of all the callers. I see their anger and I respect it. But when the anger gets over, both sides or all the sides have to sit on a table to plot a way forward for peace. We can decide to fight for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 10 years. At the end of the day, we're going to sit on a table and discuss how all patriotic Cameroonians, I'm not one of those who think someone is wrong, someone is right, someone is better than the others. All Cameroonians are patriotics. We're going to sit on the table and forge a way forward. We can do it by minimizing lives and do it now, or we can wait 1 year down the road and do it. But at the end of the day, peace will come to Cameroon. God willing, Cameroon should be under the blessing of the Virgin Mary, Jesus Christ, and God Almighty. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy, come in there. I think you won the day here. Every caller seems to like what you've said here.
I'm very thankful to people to have believe that I have understood what is going on. We believe that peace is going to come to Cameroon because we love Cameroon as everyone. What is going to be, as my fellow interveners said, is that we are going to arrive on the to discuss and have good discussion. Is that what is dividing people? We will have to listen to people. Who is dividing people is the President Biya governments who have divided the country. If he likes Cameroonian, if he likes this country, then he will come to the table with the ear to listen to people, not to impose or to manufacture any reality to people. As you have noticed from different calls, people are expecting change. Without change, I'm afraid of peace. Peace will come if there is a change, a real change on the head of Cameroon. Mr. Chiroma went to our brothers Anglophone speaking part of Cameroon. He apologized for his for the role that he had when he was on the government. People were touched and they accept for his apologize. So today, if the country is divided, I can imagine that English part of Cameroon and the north and the Bamileke and other region except Etuji, because Etuji seems to be a land, an inland in the country. So if Etuji is an inland in the country, then they are going to be a part. And maybe Mr. Chiroma will be brought to have a concert, a united government with the west part of the Cameroon. If we have to talk with the peace, that will be the price of the peace. Change, change, and change. That is my last word. Thank you
Well,
for thank you for allowing me to participate to this talk, and I hope that I have been the person who showed the position of Mr. Chiroma very well.
I hope that you have. I hope that you have. I hope Chirima will be pleased with your positions. I'm not sure of that. We'll leave it for him to do that. But I want to thank Dr. Trinko and Onga for being part of the panel tonight. I look forward to bringing you guys back. There is still so much ahead to talk about in the days ahead. I look forward to having all of you back again. You have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just
Thank
one word.
Thank you
Just
very
one
much.
word.
Thank
Just one
you.
word.
Coming
Okay,
on.
Happy, quickly, go on.
My name Happy. My name Happy is not a creek. I'm a Princess Happy Elvira, a princess of Ghana. Happy Elvira. So it
So
is not
Happy
a creek.
is
real
your
name.
true name.
It's a name of a princess. The Prince Happy 5 today.
I see. All right. I just had to manage it the way I saw it. Well, thank you, Onga, Dr. Chenko, and Happy for showing up. I look forward to bringing you guys back again.
Thank you.
And you do the same thing. Do the same thing. Anytime that you want us to talk, just reach out.
All right. All right. You have a great night.
The pleasure will be mine.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, because of the volume of the calls coming in here, I will spend another 3 minutes. Another 3 minutes. This has been essentially a marathon here. So I will spend another 3 minutes taking your calls. But when you call, please make sure that you shut down the volume of your set, of your TV set in the background, so that I can pick your call. Without that, I will not pick your call, because I don't want to pick your call and hear me talking in the background. So please make sure that you shut down the volume of your phone before you call. So let me see who is calling here. Hello. I can pick your call. Without that, I will not pick your call. Hello. That is what I was just talking about. If you have to call, you have to shut down the volume of your set in the background before you call. Hello. Hello. All right. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yes, I'm calling from London.
Okay, from London. What is your contribution, sir?
Yeah. True Ambazonian. Listen, I'm all for a regime change in Yaoundé. Okay, there are countries around the world doing it. Israel does it. Israel is always seeking for peace by instigating regime changes. Even Rwanda in Africa is doing the same thing. So if us Ambazonians can do the same thing in La Republique, let's go for it.
All right.
The panel today, the men on the panel, I don't think they had any balls. It was really sad to see men on the panels with no balls, with no fight in them. I think we should be advising them to adopt street by street, town by town. I'm going for the divisional officers, the SDOs, the governors, just kicking them and making sure they concentrate the fight in Yaoundé. I'm against Issa Chiroma forming a shadow government. It's just going to be prime target for the military. All of those members in the opposition cabinet are going to be targeted, and some of them will be bribed to even betray Chiroma. So I'm not really keen for that. The fight should be on the street.
All right.
Finally, he who wants peace must prepare for war. So all this talk of peace is just absolute garbage. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hi, Chris. How are you doing?
I am doing good, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, what is on your mind, sir?
So, I think there is a massive confusion here. I think we are mixing so many things up. This is a fight for the soul of Cameroon. I know I'm Ambazonian, by the way. I'm not Ambazonian, but I'm from Cameroon. When this Ambazonian stuff started, some of us said that we have a parable in Anglophone Cameroon where we say, if you need something, ask for something much bigger than what you want, and eventually you'll get what you need. Some of us are for federations. Some of you guys are for secession. I think the best way to go about this is for us to actually come together, have some kind of a referendum amongst ourselves, decide on what we want, and then follow the will of the people in our own area. If we cannot actually manifest democracy in our own area, there is no way we can get what we want. Because as you can see from the calls that you have received,
hold on there. I get you there. You talking about a referendum among us and follow what the people want. How do you do that on ground zero?
Well, we can still do that. You just had the elections today. How somehow CPDM won 85% in the Northwest Province and almost 60-something% in the Southwest Province. How did they do that? I think the problem we have here is we are the first to tell people not to go and vote. Why are we doing that?
No, hold on. You are dodging the question. You have talked about getting the will of the people, whether federation or independence, and I ask you, you cannot get that opinion based on the people in the diaspora. The overwhelming majority are on ground zero. How do you conduct a referendum in Ambazonia that the people tell you, in which the people tell you what they want?
Okay, it's easy. Almost everybody in Ambazonia has a cell phone.
Okay.
We have a lot of engineers. We have a lot of engineers overseas here in the United States and all over the world. We can build a proper application that can actually allow us to vote.
How about I challenge you to work on an app or whatever that we can use in conducting such a polling or a referendum. Provide to us. I bet you, I promise you, I will be the first to promote it.
Challenge accepted, Chris. You're actually talking to the right person. That's what I do for a living. So how about
Wonderful.
You call me? You have my number.
Wonderful.
You have my number. Call me after this. Let's have a conversation.
No, I have hundreds of calls coming in there. I might make your number among. Send me a text. Once I read your text, I will get back to you.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Thank you. All right. Hello. 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 When you call, you have to stay on your phone, sir. Hello. Hello. All right. I'll move to the next caller. Hello.
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 Yes, Comrade Chris.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from the kingdom.
Which kingdom? There are many kingdoms.
The kingdom of Sweden.
Oh, okay. All right. What is on your mind, sir?
Okay, thank you very much. I just want to put one or two things as far as this political crisis that has erupted in La Republique.
50 seconds.
Thank you. we have seen exactly what is happening on the other side. Unfortunately, when the fire was in our own on our rooftop, La Republic was not able, they did not show any sign. They never expected that fire to come into their compound or their own rooftop. Okay, it is stated we have countries in the Western world here that a country like Iceland is just about 800,000 people in Iceland. If Chiroma has the balls, he has a population of over 3 million in the northern part of La Republique. He can declare his own country and maintain it. And while doing so, the Bulu Ekambeti, they can declare their own and go their way. And I think that is the only way where peace will come to that particular region. If not, we are going to fight and fight because Amazonia will never give up. We shall fight the last man standing. This is a message to La Republic.
All right. Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you. Hello. 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 Hello.
Hello. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
Hello. I am calling from Ground Zero.
Where on Ground Zero?
Mamfe.
Okay, Manfe, what is on your mind?
Yes, there is something. The last speaker just spoke about the issue.
Yes, go on. I'm hearing you.
Issue of Chiruma declaring. The issue of is Chiruma declaring a republic in the northern part. The issue of the elections in the Republic has nothing to do.
You are breaking up, sir, and I can't. Hello. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will call it a night here. I look forward to being back here tomorrow. And I wish all of you a great evening. Things are still developing. We will get to hear from Issa Chiroma's camp what the plan is. He has said if it means killing him, he will fight and fight until he recovers the victory that the people gave him. So let's all wait and see what he means by fight. All right, so you have a great night. God bless.